Sunday there's a big break. Might be better. Yeah, but tomorrow's... Yeah, fair enough. You don't want to illustrate, you want to film. Illustration is drawing. Like this. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Voronezh, Russia for the IFSC Climbing Youth World Championships. 417 athletes from 38 countries across 4 continents have travelled to be with us for an incredible week of climbing. And tonight, it's the time of the junior male lead finalists. 8 athletes have battled their way through to this stage, and the stage is set for a spectacular final. That is our lead route. Black, yellow and blue holds right in the centre of our lead wall. And trust me, it's going to be an absolute thugfest, a beast of a route with few rests, big moves, huge dynos and crimpy sections to match. The athletes, well, they're going to have to give it absolutely everything in order to get anywhere near the top. And time will tell if any of these 8 can actually make it to clip the chains. Who will claim glory here tonight? Well, that's our top 8. Johannes Hofherr, he'll be out first. Jakub Zietek coming second. Diego Fourbet third. Simeon Ovchinnikov. Simeon Ovchinnikov, I should say. Ts Vancraeynest in 5th. Jenft, Ray Kawamata and Hamish McArthur. That is our top 8. It's going to be exciting. I can't wait. My name is Matt Groom. I'm your host for tonight, and I have been all week calling all the action here from Russia. So the athletes will be out on stage in the opposite order from where they qualified into this final. Johannes, he was last from the semi-final in that top 8. He'll be out first. Hamish McArthur, what a round he had in the semi-finals. He'll be climbing last. But of course, anything can happen at this stage. Don't look away for a second. We've seen athletes coming out first who have gone on to progress into previous rounds. So it's an exciting time for us all, and we're minutes away from beginning. The athletes have had their time out on the mats, observing this route, trying to piece it together. And it is a tricky one to piece together because right from the get-go, right from the very beginning, the moves through that roof, the difficulty gets ramped up straight away. Tomorrow we have an absolute feast of climbing, by the way, starting at 9 AM Russian time, finishing in the evening time. And then we've got 2 semi-final rounds and 3 finals taking place tomorrow. So if you're not doing anything with your Saturday, you might as well spend it with us here at the IFSC. All the action coming up very soon. Earlier on this morning, the right-hand side of that route now stripped. That was in action for semi-final. And there's a real difference in atmosphere here in the stadium as we pan up to have a look at our route. There it is. We'll get to know this intimately, and that's just the very beginning there, through the roof. Big moves, big black volumes, and after this section ends, well, more slopey holds are to come. There they are, the yellow holds, route setters, just adding a few little screw-ons to those yellow holds in order to make them climb properly. They were testing it right up to the very last second here this evening. They progress through the yellow part, and then there's enormous dyno from that final crimp up to the blue hole there. If they latch that, they get a small, brief rest, then launch into pinches. That giant double ball feature. Some pretty crazy high feet needed there. And then finally, the last section of this route. The last clip hanging there, and there is the top. The athletes, of course, trying to reach the top, but it's a scoring-based system. Each hold they get, they'll be awarded a point, and there'll be a plus for using that hold. We'll explain that as we go along, But the basic principle, for those of you who are new to sport climbing, start at the bottom, finish at the top. Don't let go on the way up. So the spotlight changes down to Johannes Hofherr from Austria. He enters the stage taking a deep breath, and he's right to be nervous. He's climbing in front of a crowd made up of his peers, his coaches. And they've been filtering into the stadium for the last hour getting ready for this. He's 19, 178 centimetres, one of these slightly taller climbers. He was 9th in the qualifying round, made it through to the finals in 8th place, and straight into the roof. High heels, underclings. There's some little screw-ons behind that big black volume you can't quite see. And immediately you can see how physical this route is. Let's hope he's warmed up properly. And after this, straight into this slopey side pull. High with the right foot, toe underneath to steady himself, but already having to fight as he enters the crimps. Any part of this route can trick these athletes. And that is our graphic on the left-hand side, showing us the progression of the athletes. Johannes Hofherr out first, of course, so he'll immediately set the high point. And his score will be the one the other athletes will have to beat. They, of course, won't know what his score is, but we do back at home. That's the privilege of watching this from the comfort of our armchairs. It's a short route. There's only 33 holds on it, but savagery throughout. It's only 9 holds, but savagery throughout, and you can see already pressing up onto the tick mark of that crimp, having to fight straight away. He's just past the moment where there was possibly, well, now he's found it, this brief little rest. It's not a huge one, though. Just a chance to shake out, stand up, take a moment to compose yourself, because you are climbing in an event that only takes place every 2 years. Johannes Hofherr, 20th in the bouldering competition. And this is a climber with vast outdoor experience. He's climbed 9A outdoors. 8 C pluses, 8 Cs, he's done it all. How will he fare against this? You can see that tiny little screw on, that's the hold the route setters put on, and goes up to the big slap and peels off down. Johannes Hofherr shrugs his hands, and that is an indication of just how difficult this route is going to be. It is brutal, absolutely brutal. If you're just joining us, you haven't missed much. We've just got going. Johannes Hofherr, this is the moment where it came undone for him. Up to the pinches, and you can see that right hand trying to make a little micro adjustment, and that's all it took in order to spit him off. Wow, already we're one athlete down. Blink and you miss it in this competition, ladies and gentlemen, I tell you. Johannes Hofherr will, of course, sit at the top of the leaderboard, but how long will he be there for? Because we've got some strong athletes yet to come. Jakub Zietek from Poland, out he comes. He's 19. These athletes being 18 and 19 to compete in this category. No medals so far to his name. Although Continental Championships I'm looking at here, he did get a bronze, so 1 medal to his name. And up he comes into this overhang. Straight away having to fight here. What have the route setters created? We're all wide-eyed here in the commentary box because it's been a fast-paced start, hasn't it? Go tell your friends to come and join in this, because if they wait, they might miss this. Having to rest straight away through the roof, out to the crimps, bumps up. Makes the clip now, and he chalks up, eyes up the slopers, which he gets, almost guppying it with his hand. Breathing heavy already. There will be this little rest that we saw Johannes find on the big volume to the right. The Russian organisation here has been pretty cool, pretty amazing. Wonderfully organised event, and we get to see action like this. Jakub already in trouble here. Just makes that the very edge of his reach. Locks it off. There we go, as the camera drops into focus, you can see how small it is. Now he goes to the right, and I don't think he's spotted this rest. He's certainly not used it. Oh my goodness. We see a wide there. He's got the first screw on, but having to really battle this. Huge pinch. And we again lose him. On the same hold. Uh-oh. Well, if you cancelled your evening plans, maybe time to make him again, because this could be over very quickly unless the athletes manage to find a way through this initial crux. So, 2 athletes climbed, 2 athletes fallen pretty much in the same place. Off he goes, wow. So this is the yellow volumes you can see on the right. That is the initial crux. You've got to go out with the left onto a little screw on. And they actually added that last minute. It wasn't there until quite recently. And then bump out to the pinch. And just moving off that pinch is pretty difficult. Our first French athlete to join us out on stage is Diego Fourbet. He's 18. Hypes himself up. Up he goes into the heels, underneath. There you can see the scoreboard, 2 athletes falling in exactly the same place pretty much. Into the big side pull. You can see from that angle, it almost looks like a good hold from some angles. It's not. And look how hard he has to work to bring that left hand through. That's our score, our leaderboard, 17 is where he needs to get to. Remember though, Jakub did not use that rest, and there is a rest here. Will he be able to spot it? Let's see. Diego looking composed as he pulls on. High left feet, rocking way up, pressing into the sloper, still pressing, and this move is so far at the end of their reach. Look at it, stretched right out. Can you do a one-arm pull-up, stretched out like that? French athlete doing well though. Diego makes the clip, comes down. This is the rest that Jakub missed. Out with the right, not resting for long. Makes the first screw on volume. Up he goes into the pinch. This is where we lost the first 2. Right, progress. He's got a bump though, makes it. Diego Fourbet will jump into the lead with that. Get to heel now. He won't know he's in the lead, of course, but the crowd encouraging him as he wraps a leg around that second yellow volume. Up he goes into the clip. Climbing quickly, he has to. Right, there's a crimp up on the right here, and then what can only be described as a launch to the left. It's a full body length out. Here he goes. Just sticks it. Now hangs there, heel on. Oh, look at that. Arms out, desperately trying to get rid of the pump. Stretches backwards. Just 2 points of contact. Out into the pinches, not long to rest now. We did say this route was short, it is bouldery. And we've watched 2 athletes so far fall low down, but Diego Fourbet climbs way above them now into the big blue volumes. There is a foothold out left, he doesn't need it. Crosses underneath, okay. Just catches out to the right. Huge encouragement from the crowd. Makes the clip. I don't think I've ever watched a route like this in any competition I've had the pleasure of commentating on. Struggling now. This is a huge move out right into another pinch with bad feet. Slaps for it, misses. Diego Fourbet. Way up into the lead at the moment. Okay, well, we were panicking for a second there that this route might be a step too far, even for athletes of the caliber that we have tonight. But Diego Fourbet luckily manages to find something. And suddenly the route almost feels short, doesn't it? Like an extended boulder problem. I like it. I'm a fan. Why not? Unleash the savagery, ladies and gentlemen. Unleash it. What a wonderful, wonderful sport we're part of, eh? Okay. Well, in a heartbeat, we're on to athlete number 4. Simeon Ovchinnikov of Russia will join us. In a second, spotlight frames him. There is Simeon Ovchinnikov of Russia, comes out. He's 19, 172 centimeters tall. Takes a moment to refamiliarize himself with the route. The athletes getting to study this before our live stream started. A very experienced athlete, competing since 2016. He was 15th in the qualifiers. Silver medal is his last decoration in 2021. So he's been on podiums before, he knows how to do this. And now makes the big match. And he's underway in front of his home crowd. Bumps that right hand onto the sloper. Now he enters the crimps. And for these athletes, this is going to be a bit of a wake-up call, a bit of a shocking moment. If they're expecting a nice, easy beginning, well, welcome to the finals, gents. No giveaways here. He is a good boulderer. He was 14th. Will that play to his strengths? I think it might, especially on those slopers. Simeon Ovchinnikov from Russia takes a moment to rest. And this is actually where I thought the rest would be and where the route setters thought it would, just this press move. But there is another one coming up. Having to work hard, though, as he gets stood up. There's the long, long reach. Screws that right foot in, trying to find friction. Makes the clip. Intelligent climbing from him so far as he takes a second opportunity to shake out. And he is shaking. Look at the amount of tension in his body just to keep him into the wall. One pinch done. He's got a bump though, and he's got to make this clip. He's going to do it with the high heel, I think, but he is starting to fight here. Just gives himself some room, and he's going to make an awkward clip through his legs. Screams his way up into the crimps, locking it off for all it's worth. And again, finds an opportunity to rest and shake. Let's see this jump. It is a monster of a jump. There's a lack of holds. The route setters haven't forgotten. They're just expecting the athletes to fly through this section. Second place for Simeon. There's the jump. Slap through with the left, and wow. Photographers assemble for that moment. I hope you got that. I predict bangers incoming. Well, we're halfway through this final. Who'd have thought? 8:15. I like this. I'm very into this right now. My psych was high walking into the stadium. A beautiful sunset over Voronezh. The light shafting through the buildings surrounding us. Athletes bathed in an orange glow as they approach the stadium. And that's the jump. Massive. Couldn't make it stick that time. Vancraeynest from Belgium is next. The athletes will have an understanding of what's going on waiting backstage. They'll see that they're being called quicker than they might normally. Ties just looks up at the wall. There he is. He's 18. Ties Vancraeynest from Belgium. Takes his time, and it's his to take. There's a limit. Cameraman getting an interesting angle there. He's an artist, apparently. This man's won gold before. Purs 2021 this year. That was his last medal. He was 17th in the bouldering earlier on. And that is our athletes spread out nicely across this wall. You've got to give it to the route setters. They are spread out. Every athlete falling in a pretty much different place, apart from the first two. He fell on the first cruxy, slopery section. Pauses for a sec and makes the precise bump up to the crimp. He's making quick clips here. Feet on the big volume, stands up. Let's see if he uses this opportunity to rest. Diego found 2 good rests in the space of a couple of meters here. Bumps his hands, presses. Of course, these athletes won't be used to resting this early on a route. It's almost against their better nature. Perhaps the more experienced ones will realize that it's vital on a route like this. A lot of the routes that we've seen so far in the lead competitions have been endurance fests. This one, totally different. Short, sharp, powerful. And now trying to find the best place on that yellow volume. There's 2 tiny little screw-ons you can see. Just makes the right. Will he make? Does for a second. For a moment, he made the bump stick. Raises his arms in the air in despair. Breathing deeply. I'm not sure if he's recovering, if he's in tears. No, he's okay. Let's watch this again. The thumb bent down at almost an unnatural angle as he tries to find purchase on the slopers, and this is the bump. Out he went, screaming. Suspended in the air for a second before gravity took its toll. Ties goes back to the holding area. Five done. 3 to go. But what a 3 these are. You may have heard of a man called Paul Jenft. Just been told by one of our judges here that they might have a little look at the volume underneath the wall. They've spotted some movement there perhaps, but then Paul seems to be coming out anyway, so time will tell on that one. I'll keep you updated on that situation. Now, Paul Jenft is one of our taller athletes, 186 centimetres. And there are some stretchy moves on this. Let's see, cutting loose straight away. No feet down low. Paul, very experienced in the youth circuit and making the transition into the senior scene. Briançon 51st, but Chamonix is where he shone. 8th in Chamonix. And of course, Villars as well. We saw him in a final. 6th in Villars. Makes the clip. Out he comes. Stretched out, doesn't use the first rest, but look at that reach, makes that look certainly more doable. Music starts to pump here in the arena. The crowd on the edge of their seats, they know that any second we can see some drama on this route. Out to the side pulls. Standing right at the top of that volume. Up he goes to the screw-ons, gets the second one. And here's the bump. That spot off Tis just now. High heel. Paul cruising at the moment. Shouts of Ale echo around our stadium. Paul halfway through this route now. It's shorter than we're used to. Locks off the right crimp. Let's have a look at this dyno. Eyes it up. It's an obvious one. All you got to do is pop for it, and Paul does with both hands. Stretches out right. Hands dangling as he chalks up. This French team so strong. Mejdi Schalk, he's in finals tomorrow. One of many in the French team. So strong showing from France. Paul Jenft into the pinches, bumps with the pinch. Out to the left, Paul static. Style, using that height to his advantage. Now he's got to reach all the way up into that little tiny crimp and then cross through with the left hand underneath. You can't see it really from that angle, but it's there. There it is. Nearing Diego Fourbert's high point. It drops to the right. It's casual from Paul. What was the drama we had earlier? If you've just tuned in, well, you've missed a heck of a final so far. We've seen everything so far. Oh, a knee bar, hello. I can tell you that that was not something the route setters planned on. Using that long legs of his to full advantage as he presses in. I mean, now he's made it. It looks obvious, doesn't it? But it didn't seem obvious at all with the other athletes. Shakes out. The athletes do have a time limit on this. We're trying to work on it, but this isn't one of those routes where time is going to play any importance to it. I mean, it's short. We're going to see way more falls. Paul, head down towards the crowd. What a position to be in. Few people in the world will ever be that high up, head down on a world championship climbing wall. Paul, high heel, approaching the final section now. Flicks the rope around with his foot. Paul still cruising, but suddenly we get a slopey section, reaches up into the dishes. Out left, are we about to see our first top from Paul Jenft? Matches. Disappears into the roof and latches the final hold. Makes the clip. And Paul Jenft was a bit disappointed to qualify in third for this final, but he's just topped out the route to style. He's already got a bronze this week in the bouldering. And I have a feeling, well, Paul will add another medal to his collection. He's guaranteed bronze at this stage with two athletes coming. Paul Jenft, two-time medal winner. That's not a bad week's work, is it? That was the final move. Up high, latches on. That knee bar. Oh, that knee bar. I'll be talking about that to my grandchildren sitting around a fire. I hope you will be back home as well. My name is Matt Green. I'm your commentator for tonight. Calling the action, and it is action-packed, isn't it? Sometimes with these finals, semi-finals, you have to sort of build the tension. Not with this one. It's been crazy from the get-go. Rei Kawamata, part of the big, strong Japanese crew, supported by experienced coaches. Rei gets us underway. He's already got a silver at this Youth World Championships in bouldering the other day. Very experienced, multiple competitions across multiple disciplines. He was 5th in the last Youth World Championships in Arco back in 2019. And he's done a couple of World Cups as well. 15th in Vale in 2019 was his last one. That was for bouldering though. Now he's got a rope attached to him. This is this long reach that Paul made look like child's play. Rei having to just cut loose a little bit in order to get established, but now he can shake out and rest. That's the hold. Believe it or not, that's not a bad hold for these athletes. His body scratched, bruised, damaged and broken from a week of climbing. Spotlight picks out the yellow volumes, following him up the wall like a spider. He climbs in the searchlights. Big bump needed now, makes it. Less of a side pull, more of a foot press that. Rei pacing himself nicely here, in 4th at the moment. Simeon Ovchinnikov's high point coming up, so if he manages to get past that, he'll be guaranteed at least a bronze. Drops the rope. Resets himself, makes it. It's swinging around though because he had that hesitation. Well, that proves a problem for him. He's got to somehow rest on that tiny crimp, and you can see shaking out his hand desperately, trying to get something back. Huge jump. He's one of the shortest. He is the shortest of our finalists, but didn't make that jump look difficult, did he? On the biggest hold of the route now. It's a jug, and it allows them just to rest before this section, but it's an awkward rest, isn't it, with that foot up high. Left toe on the wall, just smearing. Keeps the heel in and matches the pinches, interesting. Snatching at the rope now in 3rd at the moment. Bronze medal guaranteed for Rei. Uses the foot we didn't see really utilised before. Micro shaking his way up into the giant blue balls above his head. Makes the crimp. Now this is the location of Paul Jenft's outrageous knee bar. Shakes out, chalks up. Oh, how did he make that stick? His lats are going to be sore tomorrow with that move, I tell you. He looks for the knee bar, can't find it, and instead, creative beat it as he toe hooks in. You can see just hasn't got might have the reach for the knee bar. He might do. He's trying, but not quite, has he? But he is the shortest, remember. Toe hooking, jamming now. Has he misread this section? Possibly. Yeah, he needs to cross through under it. And now just about gets the knee bar in, and I think he sorted the beater. That is some technical climbing from Ray to save that moment. Up he goes. Second position, silver medal guaranteed for him. Last couple of moves. Are we going to see a second top? We're not. We lose Ray Kawamata near the top of the wall. Ray smiling as he comes down. Silver medal for him. Well, no, sorry, not silver medal. Got one last athlete. He's currently in silver. And it's all down to Hamish McArthur now. It's all in the hands of Hamish McArthur. And let me tell you, Hamish McArthur is on rare form. Let's watch a replay of that section. He slightly misread it and had to use all types of foot wizardry to get himself out of that problem. Got a sort of heel toe jam. Well, we're 31 minutes into this final and we're up to the last athlete. Hamish McArthur comes out, or will be out in a couple of seconds. And Hamish McArthur, silver in the bouldering competition. Hamish McArthur, long, lean, strong. And a passionate climbing. He displayed so much emotion in the bouldering. Climbed his way into this final in first place. He will know he needs to top. Certainly in order to medal, or get the gold medal. Yeah, my stats were saying he was second in bouldering, but I actually think he might have been first, wasn't he? There's so much happening. Yeah, he was first. Sorry, the stats slightly wrong there. He was first. So much has happened, even I can't remember everything that's happened. We've been through multiple live streams. Right, Hamish McArthur gets stood up, established. I'm sweating here in the commentary box. I really am. Not just my hands. It's hot here in the stadium. The crowd gathered. The other athletes supporting him. Hamish makes the reach tentatively up. One, two, three, near the top of the wall, you can see on our graphic on the left. Into the yellow volumes. Careful climbing at the moment, not wanting to make a mistake down low. Big bump coming up though, makes it. Heel onto the screw on. Team GB out in force supporting their athlete. A couple of more easy to read moves here because the dyno is coming. Shakes out while he can. He's just got a bad crimp, the one that Ray had to come back down to. Having fumbled that clip, not a hold you want to rest on. Paul Jenft currently leading the way. Ray Kawamata in second. Diego Fourbet in bronze. Makes the dyno easy. Hamish McArthur gunning for a medal position here. Up he comes into the crimps. Crosses under. Big bump out right. Drops in, sticks the move. And now let's see if there's any fancy footwork to be had through this section. Gets the heel in. Comes underneath. And reverses it back down, shaking out. He's trying to work it out. He's got that hand in the wrong place at the moment, hasn't he? Because he's got to either match it or work out a way of coming back down. This is the problem that Ray had. He's going to try to bump. It's an enormous bump, and he gets the knee bar. Gets double knee bars locked in. It's tiring, though, but he'll get something back on this. His core tightening as he hangs. Shaking out. Shaking, shaking, shaking. Desperately trying to get something back. He's worked the knee bar out, though, but now he's got to work through the sequence. Gets the left hand in the right place this time. Matches, but he's got to unlock the knees now. High heels. There we go, out to the pinch. Into the side pull. Moves into third position, knocks Diego Fourbet out of the bronze medal position. Makes the clip, the rope just dragging on his foot there. Just makes the grab up. Hamish McArthur, one move off here. Up he goes, sticks it. Makes the clip. Ha ha! Pumps up the audience. Comes down. A wonderful top from him, and there is the confirmation gold medal for Hamish McArthur, and he stands as the crowd applaud him, lit by the spotlight. Hamish McArthur walking away with his second gold of the competition. 2 golds out of 2. Undoes the knot. I mean, you couldn't ask for much more than that, could you? And that was the moment. Claps to the crowd. Absolutely awesome. 8:37 and our finals are done and dusted. I've just been informed that the finals, well, we'll wait and see, but that was confirmation at the moment. Let's watch that moment again. Went up high into the rafters of our stadium here. Realised he'd done it, turned, and look at that. That's what it means to that young man. Hamish McArthur has a bright future ahead of him, I tell you. And we just wait. That's the top 3. Hamish McArthur tops out, but due to count back to the semi-finals, he takes victory. Paul Jenft in second, also topping out, and Ray Kawamata, the last 3 out, get the medals. Paul just jumping Ray. And it's a podium of boulderers as well, isn't it, really? All 3 of them featuring high up in that. And that bouldery route, well, that's what it was all about. Oh, I feel like I need to carry on talking. What else can I say? That was short, sharp, and exciting, wasn't it? He also competed in speed. Hamish McArthur, top. Go follow that young man, follow his future career, because he's got something pretty special. We're just going to wait for the athletes. They should be presented out front. That's what we wait for. Wow, what a route. Do let us know in the comments below this video, once it's off air, what you think of that. I have a feeling this is going to be a divisive route. Some are going to love it, some are going to hate it. Personally, I love that. And as we pause briefly, once again, I just want to thank everyone who's part of the team who's made this finals possible. I've got some very talented members of the IFSC working with me, making everything possible behind the scenes. Keeping me going as well. Thank you to everyone. A chair just walked into view there. That chair had a man carrying it. Don't worry, it's not a walking chair. Don't panic. Let's watch a replay of Paul. Paul Jenft, the first one to find that knee bar. And what a moment that was. That was really special. I get some wonderful replay shots. That was Paul Jenft from France, his top. And Hamish McArthur, well, destiny was in his hands, wasn't it? Little flick of the right hand there to make the match. Straining, cutting loose. Grabbing the jug, making the clip. Right up in the rafters of our stadium. Stage darkens a little bit. We're awaiting the flower ceremony. The officials, judges, route setters all gathered down the bottom of the stage. I'll tell you what, after our marathon sessions, if you've been joining me all week, you'll know how long some of our live streams have been. Never a dull moment, mind you, but that was very different here tonight. So we watched some replays from earlier on. And I think we're going to call it a day. From me speaking anyway, we're going to wait for some of the podiums in a minute. So here is we're going to see the flower ceremony now. Audience clapping. And there are our athletes. Kawamata comes out. Paul Jenft second, a silver medal for him. And finally, Hamish McArthur from Team GB again stands on the top of the podium. And he stands in front of our crowd, a gold medalist. The lights flood the athletes. They leave. They will be on the official podium later on. That was just a chance for them to get their pictures taken, present themselves to the crowd. Well, thank you for that, everyone. That was fun. We will be returning tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. We've been starting at 10, 9 a.m. Russian time tomorrow. It's at 8 a.m. Central European time. The 2 semi-finals. And tomorrow, absolute jam-packed. 2 semi-finals and 3 finals taking place. Come and join me. It's going to be a lot of fun. My name's been Matt Groom, and it's been a pleasure talking to you tonight. Thank you for joining us here in Voronezh, Russia. I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow morning.